Hey,
Hey.
it's nice to be back.
I know, long time no see. It's been like a month. You've been missed.
I missed you so much.
I know I missed you
This
too.
is our first time recording since an episode has come out.
I know, it's been really exciting.
And another episode comes out tomorrow. Certain elements of the show move so slow, and then some of them are so fast. Like, we meet Wilkie and already... Like, we just met Wilkie. Like, they hadn't...
And now all of a sudden he's like part of a big plot, yeah.
Yeah, they clearly hadn't hired Austin Butler at the time.
Yeah.
You know? And then they were like, let's get him in here.
Yeah, there was this one part in this episode 5, where Bay says to Ty, like, I'm not ready for you to drop the big L. And I'm like, haven't they only been dating like 4 days?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I also put that in my notes right at the end. She goes, if you drop the big L right now, girl, he wasn't gonna.
He had no plan to.
He was not going to do that. I want to tell you about, I went to Vegas when I was out in California. Which is obviously not California, but I was in Vegas when I was on the West Coast. And I went to Omega Mart. Have you heard of that?
No.
Have you heard of Meow Wolf in New Mexico?
In New Mexico, yes.
So now there's like 5 of them.
Yeah, it's like an Instagram-y, like, fun place to go. And everything's neon, right?
Okay, that feels insulting to call it an Instagram-y place. But I understand how one might jump to that conclusion that it was an Instagram-y place.
Every time I see it, it's on TikTok. I'm so sorry.
That's fair. I guess I might call it a TikTok place, but it's been open since...
It's been open for a while.
A long time. Like, it predates the Museum of Illusions and all that shit.
And the Museum of Ice Cream.
And it's definitely not a photo op-y place. I think there are, like, pictures to be taken. But anyway, I haven't been to Meow Wolf. I know I'm riding really hard for it right now, but I actually haven't been to that one. But I went to Omega Mart, which is a Vegas version that's like a different, I believe it's different plot lines. It's an immersive experience. There's like a market, and it's like kind of alienish, and and everything's a little weird in the market, and all the signs are weird. It's really cool. I almost can't explain it to you. It's so weird, but it's definitely immersive. It's kind of like the internet concept of the back room.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a manifested back rooms.
What I'm thinking of right now is the Grey Wolf Lodge.
So, like, that's not far off in the sense of, like, something is weird here. Yeah.
But, like, specifically where you were, like, a magician and you had to go on quest at Grey Wolf Lodge.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you actually got to go to Great Wolf Lodge.
I did once when I was 9.
I didn't know about the magician side plot.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It was the best day of my life. Anyways, that's what that reminds me of.
Okay, so it's kind of the adult version of that. And there's this one hallway in this one part of Omega Mart. It's like you're an employee and you're in the back rooms of the mart. And so there's all these like conference rooms almost, but each conference room is a totally different art installation. And so one of them is this room called Them. And it's like an art installation about trans identity.
Wow.
And it's really cool. But on the ceiling, they have like plaster casts of hands fingerspelling something.
Oh.
And so I spent like 10 minutes in there trying to figure out what they were fingerspelling. But it is way up on, like, super high up on the ceiling, and there are flashing strobe lights in there the entire
not very
time.
helpful.
Then I looked up what it said. I tried to figure it out, and it was very
So
difficult.
it actually does say something.
Yes, and it was in a big circle too, so I was like, it was unclear where the words began and ended. Again,
stressful.
Not an accessibility thing, but yeah, the message, which paraphrases, "To be yourself is truly revolutionary."
That is a long thing to fingerspell.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it was really freaky and cool. But I was like, oh my God, I have to stay in here and try to figure this out. And my friend had very little patience for it because it was a very stressful room to be in.
You kind of won me over. I want to see that.
It was really cool. I really recommend it. Yeah, it was just like, it was very odd. We also went, we were a little bit high. My dad was like, it's good to spend like 45 minutes there. We were there for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
It's huge. You can touch everything. I like a place where everything's very tactile.
I've never been to Vegas. I would like to go.
There's lots to love about Vegas.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love Vegas. I think your wife would love Vegas. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Let's talk about dogs playing poker.
Let's talk about dogs playing poker. And it's only called that because they play poker in the show.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it.
There's no hidden symbolism in dogs playing poker.
We start off with Ty and Bay, and they're getting steamy.
This is the sex episode. I yelled it out loud just because I remember watching this.
The sex, but there's no sex.
There's no sex, but like everyone's talking about sex. Everyone's like oozing sex in this episode.
They are. This is true.
Not in a hot way. No one's hot in this episode, but everyone's like horny.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're getting steamy. But they're being responsible. Ty doesn't have a condom, and they decide not to have sex. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. I do think it's funny because in the last episode, and this is the same night, she told Daphne, like, I know how to keep a guy interested. Like, you should be worried about Liam because we were definitely sleeping together.
And they were not.
They were not. No.
So they don't have a condom, and then they're like, all right, to be continued, I guess.
It's very heterosexual teenagers. He's just like, I guess we can't have sex, so I'm going to drive you home.
Yeah, nothing else. It doesn't have to be P&B.
Penetration does not need to be involved here.
It also just screamed Disney Channel to me.
Yeah. They were pushing boundaries, admitting that Bay wanted to sleep with him at all.
I know. She was on the floor with the bra on. Also not realistic. Whatever. Yeah, I just love that they said no condom. Okay, clothes on. Time to go.
Okay, let me drive you home, I guess.
He drives her home, and then John catches her, and he said, oh, you're not Simone, because Bay lied about staying at her friend Simone's place.
That's the other thing. She had a cover to be out the whole night, clearly.
Yeah, she did. So she could have just stayed over at Ty's, but I guess...
They can't sleep in the same bed if they're not going to have sex, Kara.
God forbid.
I know.
And why did Ty have to drop her off at the driveway?
Yeah, he did not need to pull in
and
exterior driveway. Yeah, at 3 a.m.
At the exterior driveway. Yeah, 3 a.m.
It was bold, for sure.
You're waking people up.
Yeah, the lights are coming on.
You can tell because Catherine's in her robe and John is in his sweatpants. They woke up at 3 a.m. for this, just to make sure that Bay didn't lose her virginity. They're having a little heart attack over this.
A very strong part of me is like, her body, her choice. She is 15. It is so crazy to me that they're not like freaked out about the fact that he's 19. They're just freaked out in general.
The age of Ty does not come up in this episode.
Other than for them to be like, wow, he's 19 and he's not in college.
That's kind of it. I guess they don't even care about the age. They kind of just like, have a job.
Yeah. But yeah, then Catherine is like, well, we can't stop her from seeing him.
And she's right.
And instead they say, Ty has to come to chili night. Sorry, whitest threat of all time.
Which I think is a fair thing to request.
So fair. Your daughter's dating a 19-year-old boy.
Or just anyone you don't know.
Yeah.
I want to meet him. I want to get to know him a little more.
That seems like bare minimum. The way Bay reacts about it is very dramatic.
It's like the end of the world. They're going to shoot him on sight.
Admittedly, John is kind of an asshole at dinner.
He is an asshole, but like the idea itself of inviting a boy over to dinner is fine.
It should be good. It's good that your parents want to know the person that you're dating.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Daphne's in a hoodie, which is so crazy to see.
But that's because she's sad.
She's sad, and to imply that, they were like, put her in a hoodie.
Put her in a hoodie. And also, this is the day after.
So she has just broken up with Liam.
Yeah, so understandably she's sad. And of course, Regina's like, why aren't you clothes on? She's allowed to be sad.
Let her be sad for a day. She's like, is this about Liam? It's been 12 hours. Less than 12 hours. Yeah, it's about Liam. Whatever. Regina's like, go hang out with Toby.
He didn't yell at you.
Because he didn't yell at you last night. Which, yeah, I guess she said it was dump on Daphne night.
I just like that when she goes to see Toby, he's shuffling cards. It's really on the nose.
He's about to lie to her about playing mini golf, and Daphne's chosen to put on a bright blue gingham top with the cut-off sleeves.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
It's so confusing.
Bay was also wearing a blazer. It's the weekend.
Oh, I've made some notes. She rocks multiple blazers in this episode.
A cropped blazer.
As does Daphne. This is a business casual episode.
It's upsetting. It's a Saturday.
Yeah, the girls are going business casual on the weekends.
That was so 2011, though.
It was all about the day-to-night look.
A chunky necklace, and then Bay was wearing these 5-inch booties that she wore to ties later.
Oh, the booty. 2011 was so the year of the booty. I held on to my booties for a long time.
I was never a booty girl.
And I was already tall, so I don't know why I was rocking a heeled booty
Why not?
in high school.
Embrace it. In high school was crazy.
Yeah. Well, my school didn't have a dress code, so things were wild.
Toby confesses to Daphne, it's not mini golf. I'm playing poker. And Daphne says, oh, I play poker. And then she says, most Deafies are good at playing poker. This is not something I've ever heard of, but sure, I'll allow it.
I was going to ask you because we've played poker together.
I did win the last round, but I was not looking at your facial expressions.
No,
I was just playing it safe. And
I do also think that we're so bad at poker, there's not even a way for me to... I was not bluffing in the game ever.
Also, we weren't playing for money. So when I go all in, I'm not risking anything.
Yeah.
I'm not losing thousands of dollars like Toby does later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daphne says most Deafies are really good at poker because they're more attuned to facial expressions and body language. And I felt iffy about that. I'm very hesitant to say that deaf people have a superhuman power, or just like any disabled people having a superhuman power. I just don't like calling a disability a superpower not because having a disability is a negative thing, but because being viewed as superhuman is also another way of being viewed as subhuman.
Damn, go off.
And I think it sets unrealistic expectations, like all deaf people are so good at lip reading, and I think it ends up oversimplifying our strengths. And of course, it doesn't solve any of the problems of disabled people being marginalized. And it just reinforces inequalities and whatever. And I don't think that was the show's intention.
No.
I think Daphne just dropped the superpower thing and was just playing around. But I think Toby believes her.
Toby so believes her. Now people are going to think that deaf people are cheating at poker just because Toby's a shitty brother.
But also, it's just not that true that we are all amazing at lip reading and perfectly attuned to facial expressions and body language. I think I'm good at it as like any other hearing person.
I also think Daphne, she's also just smart enough to be like, oh, Wilkie's bouncing his leg every time he has a bad hand or he's lying or whatever. If Toby had an ounce of intelligence, he could also figure that out.
He could.
He doesn't need to exploit his deaf sister.
No. Anyways, Toby's eyes go cha-ching when he hears about his deaf sister's superpower.
Oh, and then Emmett shows up. And after
yeah.
Daphne was like, I'm so sad because Emmett and I got in a fight, Emmett shows up and he's just like, whatever, I was mad, it's fine. Like,
why is he there? It doesn't explain why he's there.
I think he was coming to apologize, but it makes me mad that he apologizes and she doesn't. She's just like, it's forgotten. She also was being a lot the night before.
Anyways, yeah, that's forgotten. And then I noticed she sim-commed, do you want to play poker? She voiced, do you want to play poker? But she signed play game. She should have just fingerspelled poker, but I guess Emmett was reading her lips.
She does that later when they're meeting Toby's friends, and they're all like, oh, I saw you play drums at the thing or whatever, and then someone else says, like, I like your bike, and instead of interpreting either of those things, she just says, they're impressed.
I'll get into that later. That
Poor
was
Emmett.
crazy. I was like, she is interpreting for a room full of hearing people that she's never met. She does not understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
In real life, I'd be so lost. Anyways,
Catherine gets flowers. She thinks they're from John. Spoiler, they're from Bruce and they're for Regina. And Catherine's pissed. And she brings the flowers upstairs. And Regina is like, yay. And Catherine's like, hey, don't have sex with him in my house.
Well, she's like, first of all, he cheated on his 3 wives. He's a player. And Regina's like, I just want to get laid.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
Deep. And Catherine's like, please don't get laid in my house. Crazy thing. That is an inside thought, Catherine. Obviously, you do not want this woman to bring your friend's ex-husband back to your guest house and sleep with him there. Obviously. You cannot say that out loud.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Also, Regina's a reasonable person for the most part. She's obviously not going to do that. And she says, like, I'm not going to do that. I live with my mother and my daughter.
I have common sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a cop block situation. I'm not going to bring him. Anyways, Bay goes to see Ty.
And John insists on driving.
I'll drive.
He's literally... The fact that Bay just goes, you want to make sure I don't stay too long. Don't say that out loud, Bay. Obviously, that's why, but, like, stop.
She is very bold. And even John later is like, la 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 la.
So Bay goes over there, and just when John is worried that she's going to go to sleep with this boy, she is wearing a statement necklace, a patterned tank top, and a business casual blazer, skinny jeans, and booties. Those 5-inch booties.
Yep, those 5-inch booties.
So John's really concerned that Ty's going to rip off that blazer.
There's so many layers, though.
He just wants to see what's underneath. It's like a present to unwrap. My
and
God.
those booties, you gotta, like, unzip. And
yeah. Do you think Bay goes in and she goes, this look can go from day to night? God.
Well, she's only in the house for, like, 2 minutes. She just says, come to dinner, and Ty's like, no. And she said, please. And then he goes, okay. And then John's honking, and that's kind of it.
Kind of red flag that he's like, no. I think if someone was
Me
like,
too.
I don't want to come to dinner with your parents, anyone, not even someone I'm dating, I'd be like, why? My parents are wonderful. You should want to come.
You don't know my parents.
Yeah. Or you love me, so you should want to come, even if they did suck.
Bay says come to dinner, and also Regina and Daphne will be there, I promise. That's a good thing. She's promising the presence of people that he
Mind you, she's lying. She hasn't asked them yet.
No, she hasn't. She doesn't know the schedule.
No, it's also tonight.
Oh, that's true. This is all one day.
Yeah, it's all the same day, which means that she puts on different blazers at different points of this day.
But she's wearing the same outfit.
No, she's wearing a different blazer.
Okay, the blazers all look at the same.
Yeah, she switches from a black blazer to a navy blue blazer.
Fine.
And then Daphne puts on a gray blazer.
Okay.
I know. It's really... I don't know who did the costuming on this episode, but they had a vision.
And the vision is blazer.
Yeah. That piece in the newspaper comes out about the family.
Yes.
And Catherine's very happy and Regina's pissed because they call Daphne handicapped, and then they also are like, they were plucked from adversity.
Yeah, it just made it seems like the article made out the Canishers to be this white savior family to save this East Riverside Latino family. And also John is not happy with the article, but for a different reason, and that's because it doesn't look good for the lawsuit against the hospital.
And then Bay finally comes over to Daphne and wants to ask her to come to dinner, but first she has to apologize for being so mean and yelling at her about Liam.
And she signs favor, and this is her very first time signing.
Yeah, her first time learning a sign. And she says, I looked it up on YouTube for you. Are you happy? And it's like, okay, so it wasn't that hard. Maybe you could be doing more of that.
You can Google more than one word, actually, Bay.
Yeah. She could have Googled sorry.
Yeah, sorry is a very easy one.
Sorry would have been good to start with before favor. But she said, I need a favor.
Anyways, she apologizes. She asks Daphne to come to dinner. And Daphne's like, fine, I'll do it, but only for Ty.
Yeah. And then Daphne's like, I broke up with Liam. And Bay's like, no, why did you do that? Girl, you asked her to.
Did she?
Yeah. Daphne said, what do you want me to do? Break up with him? Like in the last episode when Bay was yelling at her. And Bay said, yes.
Yeah, I guess she did.
And then later on, Bay yells at her more and is like, you can keep dating him, but just know I know how to keep a guy interested.
That's right.
All of that implies you would have wanted Daphne to break up with him.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever. I don't like Liam.
No, me either. I'm very happy he's gone. It also has been one day. If Daphne is really as sad about Liam as she said, she probably could have texted him and been like, just kidding. Let's get back together.
They've only been together 4 days.
Yeah. So I think it would have been fine.
I know. Anyways, we cut to Catherine and Regina doing laundry together in the world's biggest laundry room.
I was going to ask because it looks like a kitchen, but it's not the kitchen they've been cooking in. Which means
a separate room.
This is a separate kitchen laundry space.
Which is bigger than the room we're in right now.
Oh, way bigger. God, I wish I had a unit laundry.
Me too.
That'd be awesome. Anyway, they're discussing their teenage daughter's sex lives, which is gross.
Catherine's like, tell me more about Ty. And Regina's like, I will give you information that you do not care about.
Yeah.
He's part Cherokee. He was raised by his great aunt. And he's really good at spades.
Do we think that the laundry bit was just so that they could cue up the joke where Regina says, have you seen Ty with his shirt off? Now that's a
washing machine. I guess.
Yeah, because they did not need to be. They built that whole laundry room set just to make this joke.
Just to make that joke. But also, yeah, Catherine doesn't care about any of that. She wants to know, basically, is he having sex with my daughter? And Regina's like, girl, I don't know.
Like, why would Bay tell Regina, who's never around? She said, girl, I don't know. I don't talk to her.
But the answer is probably because he's hot.
Yeah. Have you seen his abs? They're great.
And that's my answer. And then Toby, Emmett, and Daphne prepare for poker night, and they're talking about signs and what to do to cheat the game.
Toby's like, hey, we're going to cheat.
Clearly out loud, and Emmett and Daphne are very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can tell they're very uncomfortable. I don't know why they say yes to doing it.
Especially Emmett. He doesn't have any skin in this game.
He is like, I want the money. Because Toby's like, we'll split it 50-50. And Emmett's like, no.
3-3-3.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's the first thing Emmett said that Toby's even somewhat understood.
He just held up 3 fingers.
The bar is low for Toby.
The bar is so low for Toby. It's also heavily implied that Toby owes quite a lot of money to Wilkie already. Because when he says 50-50, he seems a little stressed that Emmett wants a third instead.
Yeah.
And
we don't know how much money.
We don't know how much money.
And we kind of still don't. And then, yeah, Catherine comes to give Bae a proper sex talk.
Birds and the bees.
It's pretty sweet, honestly.
I thought it was really sweet.
I thought it was really nice.
I just thought it was so 2011 when Bae's like, I'm not into sexting and I don't send naked pictures of my butt.
Yeah, that's the ABC family.
That's
PSA.
what everyone told us in 2011 not to do.
Yeah, and it didn't matter. It didn't stop anything. And then Catherine tries to get really technical.
I really like that she focused on pleasure, though.
Yeah, but that's like something you can only say because it's not your mom and we think she's hot.
That's true. If anyone related to me ever said that, I do what Bae did and goes, oh, we're done. We're done talking.
It did beg the question for me, like, what do we think John and Catherine's sex life is like?
I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah. John's hot in like a weird Republican way.
And didn't last episode they talk about like getting it on after the party?
Yeah, they kicked people out early to go have makeup sex.
So I think they have a decent sex life.
Good for them.
Did your parents give you the sex talk?
I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
Like, I think probably yes at some point. Did your parents?
No, never talked about it.
They said, a lesbian. We don't know what to do with this. They saw that Billie Jean King poster on your wall. And they said, no, we can cancel the sex talk.
Yeah, basically. I was part of GSA.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Also, no one else was out. Like, who was I going to have sex with?
That's true.
Yeah.
You were really holding it down. You were like, I'm the deaf lesbian at my high school.
I am. Truly no one out there.
You would have cleaned up at my high school.
That means a lot.
You would have been a hot commodity. I do think like a talk, the most important thing is what Catherine does. To just be like, it should be good. You should enjoy it.
She doesn't mention protection though.
No, because I think Bae's like, I already know about that, which is fair.
Bae is leaving the house. She's like, I gotta leave. My mom's trying to talk to me about pleasure.
On her way out, and she runs into Daphne, who's like, we're going mini golfing.
And Bae immediately knows what's up. She's like, you're gonna go play poker with Toby. That's a bad idea. Do not do it.
He has a gambling problem.
And Daphne is not listening.
Bae does say, like, trust me, I know him a lot better than you, which is a shitty thing to say.
And then, of course, Daphne gets very defensive, and she's like, whatever.
But right before she says that, Bae reveals that she had to use all of her birthday money to pay back his debts to Wilkie last time this happened.
Very nice of her to do.
Explains why he was much more down to help her with the cash when she wanted to try to fix Ty's car for him.
Right.
And he didn't ask any questions. But also, how much money do we think that was? For Bae, birthday money, that could be $300. That could be $2,000.
My guess was $500.
Okay. That doesn't feel like a lot to me.
For a teenager, that's a lot. But, okay.
Like, the way she's panicked about it, I'm like, okay. Was it 5,000?
She gets money from her parents, her grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles. Yeah, maybe like 1,000 or something.
Cousins is crazy. Do your cousins send you money?
No, I meant to say aunts and uncles.
Okay.
I do not get money from my
I'm trying to imagine, like, hitting my cousin up for birthday money.
No, I'm also, like, one of the older cousins. So,
exactly. Yeah, me as well.
My 14-year-old cousin's not going to be sending me a check.
God, I wish. That'd be cool. So, yeah, Daphne's like, whatever, we're going to go. It's fine. And they pull up, and that one guy that was a total dick to Daphne.
Jeeves.
Jeeves?
Cheeves. Cheves. Okay.
Well, Cheeves is there.
The same guy that Daphne taught the sign for douchebag to.
Yeah. She does not reveal to him. That's what it means.
Yeah, she does not. And Emmett, she signs in front of Emmett, and he's like, yep.
Emmett's in on it.
And then, these are all new people who are talking very fast and not looking at her. They're like on the other side of the room in this basement.
It's also dimly lit in this poker room.
And she's interpreting for Emmett. There's no way she would have been able to understand anything that they were saying. I was just like, maybe Daphne does have a superpower, because that's crazy.
That is, I mean, they kind of stick to that the whole show.
They do.
That they're like, she's just really good at it.
She's so good at it. She can read lips in pitch black.
I wonder, later on in the series, they talk about, Daphne tells Bae about, like, how much Emmett means to her. And part of that story is that from ages 3 to 8, she didn't have access to sign language at all.
Right. So she probably relied on lip reading a ton to get by.
So I wonder if that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's entirely possible.
Yeah. But that story always kind of frustrated me because it doesn't really align with who she is now.
Also, you would be severely speech delayed.
Because part of her thing is, like, that her speech is so, like, technically good. You know, like people are always making comments about it, and it's because Katie LeClaire is hearing and she's doing a deaf accent, obviously. But like, why did that need to be the backstory? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. She could have just been born deaf, and it just doesn't address the issue of language deprivation.
It makes it seem like she didn't suffer at all from that severe language deprivation that she experienced.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. And she was in school.
So yeah, you're right. She probably would have had 5 years of practice to lip read. But I'm still going to go out on a limb and say it's not perfect and it's not realistic to read that well.
Yeah. But whatever. I guess we'll just pretend Daphne has a freaking superpower.
I also had 5 years before I got my implants. I'm pretty good at lip reading, but I would not say I'm an expert. And even Daphne herself says that on her date with Liam, like, I get really good once I get to know someone. Yeah. And again, she's in this poker room with all these new people. It's just not realistic. Yeah, all these randos. Anyways, frustrating. There's a membership fee to play.
They call it a membership fee. It's very normal for poker to have a buy-in.
Oh, see, I don't know this.
But like for a poker game, if you're playing for money, everyone puts in the money.
But what is it, like 200 a person?
It's a very high buy-in, I will say. Yeah, when we play poker, grown adults, we do a $10 buy-in. And when we played, we just did nothing because we barely knew how to play. But now when we go to poker night, it's a $10 buy-in.
Why would Toby think Daphne and Emmett have $200 each?
He like immediately says to Wilkie, like, you can spot all of us, right?
Yeah, he's like, whatever. I think he's just so confident they're going to win and they'll just buy it back.
Yeah, Toby this whole episode has the vibe of an addict who's like frantic. So I think he's just not thinking it through.
Yeah, Lucas Gubio does some good acting here. Mm-hmm. He really...
No, because I'm like really repulsed by him in this episode. This whole episode, there's like so much sex stuff. I think the hottest thing that happens in this episode is when Wilkie says down kitten to that girl. I was like, thank God they gave him something to work with because he's basically like a non-factor the rest of the episode except for his bouncing leg. But they gave him one sexy line.
Oh, and he also says to Daphne, come back anytime.
Oh, yeah. Also hot.
It was pretty hot. God, even though they're having the worst day of their life. He's like, whatever. So.
He's like the opposite of Daphne. Like, he cannot read a room.
No, not at all. I think he knows, but he's just...
He doesn't care. He decides to cover them for the game, pay for them to play because he likes Daphne.
He does. I think he also has an understanding of what's going to happen because he immediately is like, you're not signing at the table.
I really like that girl being like, ASL is a rich and beautiful language.
Thank you, honey.
Thanks. Really good. And then she's like, obviously no signing at the table.
It's a rich and beautiful language. Sign somewhere else.
Yeah.
Daphne observes, I guess when Wilkie shakes his leg, that means he has a bad hand. And then when that happens, she takes a sip from her 7-Up. And then Toby buys in, and then he wins. And then this goes on for a bit. I don't know if you noticed this, but Daphne drinks a soda, and the camera goes in slow motion just to really let us know that this is hotel.
She's signaling. Mm-hmm. Or because 7-Up paid for the placement, and they wanted to give them more screen time.
Right, exactly.
Who's to say? And then she gets a text from Bae, where are you? Because this poker night is happening at the same time as dinner, and they just thought that they could do both things, I guess.
Yeah, Daphne, bad planning.
Yeah, not so good. You can tell she doesn't really care about coming through for the dinner with Ty. Also, we've never seen her and Ty actually interact.
She says my Ty last episode, but there's no proof of that.
No, she's like, he's like an older brother to me. Are we sure?
We've never seen the two of them alone.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out that Daphne whips out her flip phone and Bae says, where are you? But it's like the iPhone text interface, but just like on.
Oh my God, I didn't catch that.
And then you're going to also see it later with Bae's BlackBerry.
Yes, when she lays it down so clearly so that we can see what the text said.
It's like that. From the iPhone first generation text
so
interface.
Weird. I bet it was during that time where like you couldn't show an iPhone. I think that's still true. That like you
can. On TV, maybe
not.
But
I feel like most of the time they make the phones look generic, like just generic smartphones where you can't really tell.
Yeah, you usually can show like the Apple interface, but it's extremely close.
Yeah. Yeah, so back at dinner where Daphne is not there, Ty pulls up. He brings Catherine flowers, which is really nice. And then he's kind of sassy with John, which I'm into. John's doing a lot of like dad sassiness.
Yeah, he's like, pulling out the shotgun.
He has a beer and he's like, do you want one of these? And Ty's like, no, I'll just take a soda. John's like, it's good to see you in the light of day.
In the light of day. That was funny.
And Ty says, yeah, it's really good to see you not outside my house. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Regina and Adriana pull through.
Thank God.
Thank God. Regina's quick to remind Ty that John owns guns, which is really funny.
Mm-hmm. And Bruce comes to the house.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, Regina pulls up, and it's like such a relief. And then immediately
Bruce comes. And then Catherine's like, how are your 3 ex-wives doing? He's like, they're fine.
She is not subtle with it.
Not so at all.
And Regina's like, we gotta go. And Bay is like, where are you going?
You didn't even
tell her.
Sit down.
Clearly didn't tell Bay that she had this other plan. It feels very rude of Regina, both to Bay and to Ty. She's just like, all right, I'm gonna dip out and go on this date so that I can get late.
Poor Bay.
And then Bay goes, wait, you're not staying? Please stay. And Regina goes, we have a reservation.
You can move it.
You could call and cancel. What do you mean? This isn't 2025 where if you make a reservation on Resi, they have your card and they'll charge it if you don't show up. Like, call and cancel.
You can't just push it back 30 minutes?
Regina wants to get out of there.
Yeah, she does not care. Poor Bay, again.
Poor Bay.
She wants to get laid. She wants a free dinner with the hot guy, and she wants to get laid.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's dinner with just the 4 of them. Ty, Bay, Catherine, and John. And...
awkward.
Yeah, it's quite awkward. They're eating chili. I'm sure that chili is not that good.
Oh, John says, is that hot enough for you or something? Like, he comments on the spice level.
The spice, and Ty...
You are a white man. Shut up.
You've met your match, John.
Yeah, like, why is he's being so weird.
And then they're scandalized that he's not in college.
John says, no college, no job, any plans at all?
And then Ty drops, actually, yeah, I enlisted in the army and I'm leaving on Thursday.
And John he's destroyed. He's shaking in his boots.
And as a Republican, he's like, shit, that's awesome.
He gets humbled so fast. He goes, you honor your country by serving.
He's like, oh man, that's great, actually.
I'm actually stoked that you're doing that.
But Catherine immediately recognizes that Bay is distraught.
Of course, there are tears in Bay's eyes.
In her eyes.
Yeah, and Ty's like, yeah, I ship out Thursday. Holy fuck. Obviously, Bay argues with him immediately after dinner.
Why the hell didn't you tell me?
He's like, I wanted to tell you, I didn't know when. And I get it, she's 15. She is not very understanding when he's like, this is one of my only options.
And yeah, she doesn't really understand the socioeconomic implications and
she does
and why a lot of people end up going. And I understand it's to serve the country, but also for a better life. You do get a free college education.
Yeah, it sucks, and I wouldn't be happy about it either. But like, it does totally make sense that that's what Ty is going to do next.
It absolutely makes sense.
So he leaves. She's upset, and then back at the poker game, Emmett's got this like real intense scowl on. They're having a little break. Daphne's like, damn, we gotta go. Like, we gotta go to dinner. Girl, dinner is over. You have missed dinner. You've missed the big reveal.
You have.
Toby's like, we can't go because I owe Wilkie a lot of money.
And he blocks them from leaving.
Yeah, they're like walking out the door. He physically kind of blocks them. And then Emmett's got such a good like mad scowl. He's like, I'm not your trained monkey. And he leaves and he looks back waiting for Daphne to follow, and Daphne does not follow.
Daphne.
Story of Emmett's life. He's always like walking away from places waiting for Daphne to take his side. She never does. She's gonna stay and help. But then clearly they go back to the poker game, and it seemed to me like Wilkie's for sure caught on at this point.
Yeah, and they're dropping the coins and I can see 100 on them. And I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah, so things are getting really intense, and it looks like Wilkie falsely shakes his leg on purpose because he's figured something out.
He's a smart guy.
When he wants to be.
Toby
goes all in.
And he loses it all.
So they don't really explicitly say how much, but I think Wilkie throws out like
1,000.
No, he starts with 1,000.
He starts with 1,000.
And then Toby matches him, and then he goes to 2, and Toby matches him. And then Wilkie says, what about a big 3 with an extra 0 on it? Do we think that's 30,000?
There's no way.
Because they were playing with like 3,000. And so he says a big 3, add an extra O. And Toby's kind of like, yeah, man, like, let's do it. And Wilkie's like, you're crazy. I love it. I think they mean 30.
30,000?
Yes. I think that's why later on when Bay's like, how much did you lose? He doesn't say. And Bae's like, that means it's really bad. Which I kind of get why he's like, okay, well, if I win, then I'm like in a really good place. But he's being crazy. And obviously he loses because Wilkie has figured it out. And Toby freaks out but is reserved about it because he's in front of his friends. And then
it's not until later that he screams at his sister.
He screams, yeah. But back at the house, Catherine and John have a sweet heart-to-heart about protecting Bae's heart.
Yeah.
Which is sweet. That's nice.
Yeah, that was it.
And then Regina and Bruce are getting horny in the car.
They're having a great night.
Yeah, they're driving home.
Yeah, and they decide to park somewhere and get frisky.
That whole scene, I was cringing because first of all, they're leaving and she's like talking about the dinner.
The pancetta.
The pancetta. She's speaking about it so passionate.
She hasn't had meat in like 5 years, it seems.
She does say like Daphne does all the cooking and she's vegetarian. Why is Daphne doing all the cooking, Regina?
Doesn't your daughter have homework to do?
Yeah. Also, she's not keeping you from eating meat.
You can go out and get a burger at McDonald's.
Yeah.
No one's stopping you.
No one's stopping you from making your own dinner. But Bruce is sort of like, I think he says, I'd offer you a nightcap, but I think you'd prefer yours on a skewer. And then her response, I bet you have a freezer full of steaks. Sorry. Ooh. Hate it.
It was just weird sexual innuendo about meat. It was so strange.
It was really grossing me out. Maybe it's because I don't eat most meat.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
You're adults. Just say, let's fuck. So then he's like, my sons are at my
They're
house.
home watching Lord of the Rings.
He says, I bet they're not even out of, Middle Earth yet? Or I don't know. I didn't know.
I don't know Lord of the Rings. I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, but basically implying we can't go to my house. Regina's like, obviously my place is out. You want to go park somewhere?
Yeah.
And then I think she says, like, kind of makes you feel like a teenager, huh? Which I'm just like, ew. Because this whole episode, they've been talking about how they're worried that these teenage girls are having sex.
Yeah, I don't know. You can do whatever you want. You're a grown adult, but ew.
Yeah, ew.
It's like the equivalent of, like, hearing about your parents having sex. It's like, oh,
that is kind of how it felt, but I didn't feel that way. No, I kind of did in the last episode when John and Catherine, John's like, you want to close up and go, ew. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Toby and Daphne get home. Toby slams the car door and then he does this pathetic little kick
into the garage door.
Which I think he kicks Bae's garage door, not his own, which is very rude, Toby.
That basketball has been hitting the garage door. There's so many dents in it.
Toby did not make a dent in it.
Yeah, that was a pathetic little kick.
He's so small. But yeah, he's being such an asshole. He's kind of scary. He's yelling at Daphne.
And Daphne doesn't understand him at one point, and he's yelling at her.
Oh my gosh, that's right. What does he say? Like
something about leak, L-E-A-K.
Yeah, and she's like, what? And he says it like
a leak!
He's being such a fucking
and
monster.
Then Daphne rightfully says, so the thing I said earlier, I'm not actually superhuman.
Yeah, I think he's dumb. I think Toby's just like a dumb boy.
And I think she's realizing, oh, my brother's stupid.
She's like, oh, damn. Maybe I should try the sister again because this is not going good. And then, yeah, Bae's inside her art studio.
And she gets the little text on the iPhone interface on a BlackBerry.
Yes. The text on her BlackBerry iPhone hybrid monster, and she lays it down on the table so that we can see
that she hasn't texted him back,
but that Ty has asked her to come by. How is she gonna get there? She can't drive yet. She's 15. She doesn't have her license. That's why so many of these
but she drove remember she drove in the BMW in the first episode?
Yeah. Was that illegal? She's 15. She's not.
Is the driving age 16?
Yeah.
In
everywhere, I think. You can get a permit younger.
In New York, it's 17.
It's nowhere is it younger than 16. You can have
maybe
a permit.
She has a learner's permit.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to drive with.
Well,
so she was not supposed to be doing that.
I think she is not listening to the law here.
Wow.
But she's been driving alone a lot.
I think we haven't seen her drive alone since that first episode. So maybe in the pilot they hadn't decided how old the girls were.
Okay.
Because we're coming up on the birthday episode where they turn 16 and they both get cars. It's a big deal. Spoiler.
They both get cars. But yeah, before that,
how's she gonna get to Ty's place is my point.
And we all know. We don't find out.
We don't find out because she doesn't go. Well, she doesn't go. Exits the driveway and she sees Regina on her walk
of no shame,
heels off, strolling back in through the driveway, and Regina's like, you know what's gonna happen if you go to Ty's place. It was so weird. First of all, Regina, you haven't been here this whole time. Fuck off. Like, who cares? But also, Bae says this, like, am I exuding some kind of musk that makes people think that I'm, like, going to go have sex? I mean, she is going to go have sex, but, like, Or she's thinking about it.
That was the plan, but like, is that implied that when someone joins the army, you're immediately going to lose your virginity to them?
Okay, kind of, yes. It's like how when someone joins the military, any branch of the military, and then like within a year they're married.
Okay, I'm not aware of this.
Oh, okay. That's like a big thing is like people before they will go off to wherever they're shipped off to, they'll get married really fast.
Oh.
I mean, I guess you're a teenager, your boyfriend's about to leave forever.
She said, what if I give him the gift of my virginity?
Yeah, maybe he'll stay, which I think is what Regina's picking up on, because then Regina's like, you think there's going to be this magic moment at the end, and there's not.
And I think this is a nice conversation that she had with Bay.
Oh, I think it's super nice.
Yeah. For once, considering that she ditched them for the dinner. And this is nighttime, right? So I guess it's the next morning.
So then next morning, she has put on a different business casual outfit.
And you can't have sex in the morning, I
No,
guess.
you can't have sex in the morning. That's how it works. And so she comes to Ty's and she brings an Axe Girl. I don't know the right vernacular. Like,
it's the Axe Girl print.
She brings him a print of Axe Girl.
And yeah, maybe he could like tape it or glue it somewhere. But yeah, it's Axe Girl. But she has like the army hat on.
Yeah.
The army helmet.
And Bay says it's time to take her global. She says you can bring it to Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever it stand. Girl.
Commenting on American colonialism and imperialism.
Yeah, she said wherever you get sent to terrorize people,
go
bring
up
it there. And Ty tries to start talking to her and she says, don't give me some romantic speech.
I'm not ready.
And that's when she says, if you drop the big L right now.
It's been 4 days, Bay.
It's been...
So they kissed the second episode, right?
Yeah.
And this is episode 5.
Yeah.
And I don't know the timeline, and the show is not very good at telling us the timeline of how long it's been since they found out about the girls being switched at birth. But I think it's only been 2 or 3 weeks.
At most.
At most. Let's say less than 2 weeks since they started dating. There's no big L coming.
There shouldn't be.
Well, there shouldn't be.
Thank God we don't find out if there is one. Because she says, don't even think about it. And then they have this really dramatic kiss that I think was supposed to sort of like evoke Twilight vibes of like, we're so conflicted. But it honestly just looked painful for the actors to do. It looked very awkward.
I don't think they had chemistry offset.
No. And then Ty is like, we could have sex now that you know that I'm leaving if you want. And she's like, no. And then she runs away from him. She literally like runs out the door.
Low jog in her booties.
And I kind of thought there'd be like another moment where we see him. Nope. That's it. That's her goodbye to him.
That's the last we see of him for a bit.
As she's running away from him, I just want to call out that she's wearing a different navy blue blazer.
Thank you.
And a black and white striped pencil skirt and a lace tank top.
Black and white striped pencil skirt. That is so...
It's so 2011.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Stop that.
And I think some different booties. And she runs those booties straight home to her mother. And she's like, I didn't sleep with Ty, but I wanted to, but I didn't. And she's sad.
I'm sorry, not even jeans and Converse sneakers?
No. Heels.
That's so stressful.
Heels. And also they do make out when he's like, we could have sex. Before she runs away, they make out.
Right.
And she's in his lap. I don't know if she's straddling him or she's just in his lap. But I'm like, how is she doing this?
Maybe it's really stretchy.
It does look like it would be stretchy.
It's a stretchy pencil skirt.
And then Ty says bye to Regina and Adriana and Daphne. And he signs, I will miss you to Daphne. Which he didn't learn any sign language before that. Like, it seemed like a significant moment. Didn't they grow up together?
It seems like he just Googled that today.
Yeah. Everyone's learning to use YouTube for the first time in this episode to look up signs.
I guess.
And then Daphne comes to apologize to Bay about missing dinner. And she is wearing a gray blazer that's like has cutouts in it.
I also wrote this in my notes.
A faux suede shacket, but like pre-shacket.
It's so ugly.
It's really ugly on her. It's also not very her. Like business casual, Daphne's put in a lot of business casual that does not seem to be her vibe at all.
I know I hate Bay's clothes, but
I extra hate
she suits the business casual better than Daphne does.
Yeah. And she's wearing a mini skirt. Daphne's wearing a mini skirt and a chunky belt.
Of course.
What day is it? What time of day?
I think it's a Sunday. They're not in school.
And she's like, hey, so sorry I missed dinner. Also, you were right about Toby. Bay's like, how bad is it? And then we hear Toby outside slamming the car door and they go out there and he is angrily loading all of those amps that his mommy and daddy bought him into the car.
Yes.
That his mommy and daddy also bought him.
Has he considered getting a job?
Clearly no, because he's taking all of that stuff to the pawn shop.
Right.
And speeding away. And Bay's like, how much did he lose? And Daphne's like, he wouldn't say.
That means it's really bad.
Bam. Episode ends.
End of episode.
My theory is it's in the 30,000s.
That is psychotic. I think my guess was about 12,000.
I don't know. Toby's being an asshole.
He's being such a dick.
Also, I think it's weird. Wilkie's like his friend. I don't know. I guess I don't play poker really. Like, clearly we barely play.
Yeah, but like, he seems to get some joy in his friend's demise.
He knows Toby has a problem.
Yeah, he's exploiting his friend. It's a weird, toxic relationship.
I love Wilkie as a character.
Me too.
But he's pretty evil.
He's pretty evil, but not to Daphne.
Not to doubt. Yeah, he's selectively like a decent guy, but he's pretty evil to Toby.
He is pretty evil.
I feel like men in general don't actually like their friends that much. I think it's maybe that. I think he like doesn't really care about Toby that much.
That's entirely possible. That's
But
crazy
also-
because they've known each other for years, it seems, and they're in that band together.
So Toby's gonna go sell those amps. Did they use those amps in their band together?
I'm sure Wilkie has his own stuff.
I think the implication also is Wilkie is much richer. Like, his parents are much richer than the Kenishes somehow.
Yeah, they seem very high up.
That poker room seems intense. Which, why are you letting your kids use a poker room? Like, aren't you worried if your children are gambling?
They do not care.
Also loved the call out that Cheeves drives a Hummer. They don't make those anymore.
Yeah, because they're horrible for the environment. Thank God. Now Cheeves would be driving the those giant
Cybertruck?
Yeah, thank you. Those giant Cybertrucks that firefighters can't get in if you are in a car crash. They all be driving Teslas.
They would all be driving Teslas, I think.
That's a hot new thing.
Yeah. I think this is the last we see of Cheeves. I hope this is the last we see of Cheeves.
Yeah, I never remember seeing him again.
I was surprised when he showed up a second time.
Yeah, me too.
That also makes me wonder, like, where's Liam?
Do we ever see him again?
No, we never see Liam again. Bye, Liam.
Bye, Liam.
Okay, I guess that's all, folks.
Oh yeah, thank you for listening to Disturbed Birth, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. If you would like to learn ASL, we have a list in the show notes of places online and in person in New York City where you can learn some American Sign Language.
Yes, please check it out.
Yeah, be an ally.
Ally.
Ciao, Valentina.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.